Okay, Shalawam, everybody. I hope y'all can hear me fine. You know, I'm driving down the road. Sometimes my truck can be kind of noisy, so I hope my voice is coming through okay on this video. Now, I just want to talk about this term Hebrew Christian, and the first thing I want to bring out is my stance on this particular matter. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, which many of you already know, that I in absolutely no way support the term Hebrew Christian. I am not a Christian. I am a Hebrew Israelite. Whether you want to use that term Hebrew Israelite or the more proper term from the ancient perspective. But I am a Hebrew Israelite. I am not a Christian Hebrew. I am in no way down with that term. I am not pushing that. So therefore, you can watch this video and you can see that it came out of my own mouth if you haven't heard me say it before. But most of you know that already about me. Now, you do have a lot of brothers and sisters who are pushing that term, Hebrew Christian, which I believe, again, is nonsense. You know, it's not something that's new. It's something that's actually been around. Like, for instance, you had, the brother that just passed away, Pastor Derby. He was pushing that. You got the Pastor Omar down in Louisiana. He pushes that. It's many people who push that term Hebrew Christian, and it doesn't really make any sense. It's not something that we should be pushing on ourselves. I mean, you can't be a Hebrew and a Christian. You already, you saying that you're a Hebrew Israelite, but then you're going to turn around and say that you're a Hebrew Christian. That doesn't even make sense. The two cancel themselves out. Hebrew and Christian cancel themselves out. But how are you going to be a Hebrew and a Christian? That's crazy. I mean, it makes no sense. You are already a Hebrew and an Israelite. When you say that you're an Israelite, that means you keep the law, statutes, and commandments. That means you have turned back to the covenant of the Most High. You have turned back to your nation, which is a covenant agreement. That's the only way a bloodline Hebrew can be an Israelite. So if you are already a professing Hebrew Israelite, which means you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, then why would you say I'm also a Christian? That doesn't make any sense. You have no reason to declare to be a Christian if you are already an Israelite. A lot of people have their own agendas behind that term for why they push it. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you why, because when you start to look at the lifestyle of these individuals that push that term, they'll start to say, you'll start to see, pieces of Christianity within their lives that they're living and teaching that they didn't want to let go. Just watch them carefully. Look at everything that they do, and you'll start to see, different areas of Christianity that they did not want to let go, that is incorporated into their lifestyle and the way that they do things. And then they also have some things, from the Hebrew standpoint that they also want to keep. So that's why they use the term Hebrew Christian. You just got to peep that out. They're doing things from the Hebrew side. They're doing things from the Christianity perspective. They want to keep those things. And those things from Christianity, they don't want to let it go, and they're not supposed to be keeping it. They're not supposed to be doing it. Certain things, they're not supposed to be doing it that way, and they refuse to let it go. So that's really behind the term. Even though you would hear a lot of them say, well, I don't agree with Christianity. I don't believe in Christianity. But then they would turn around and still call themselves a Christian, which absolutely makes no sense. So if you don't agree with Christianity because you know where it came from, then why are you calling yourself a Christian when you are already a professing Hebrew Israelite, and that Israelite being that you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments? Israelite meaning you're being the light. You have no reason after that to even call yourself a Christian. Now, that's why I have a big problem with our people who call themselves, you know, a Hebrew Christian, a term that absolutely makes no sense. It's a lie. I'm going to tell you that flat out of my mouth. It's a lie. And a lot of you, when you see them trying to push that term upon the people, they trying to carry it out, push it upon the people. Look, go and check the background history, you know, of where Christianity or the term Christian come from. And the farther you go back, you're going to realize it did not come from Hebrews. Hebrews were not the first Christians. The term Christian in the religion Christianity came from Gentiles. When you go and you check the information for yourselves, that's what you're going to find out. I don't care what they getting up there and teaching. I don't care how many individuals with big names they try to bring on with them to co-sign it. It is a lie. And people are preying off of your ignorance. Now, I'm not saying that you're dumb, but I say that they're preying off of your ignorance. I'm saying that they know that it's information, there's certain information that you don't know. So they're trying to push that stuff on you, knowing that 9 times out of 10, you're not going to go back that far in history to even check it. So that's why a lot of times when people are throwing these type of things out there, even if they got people to come on and co-sign with them, you need to still go back and not be lazy and check it yourself so that you'll get the correct information. And nobody can mislead you into something that you have no business being in. Because I can tell you this, if you fall in one deception, which that term is a deception, later on down the line, you're going to keep falling into different deceptions here and there until you completely off track with the Most High. That's a guarantee. So you got to go back and you got to check these things for yourselves. When you start to see that people are trying to push these certain type of terms on you, go back, you know, and do your due diligence, okay? Now, I have no problem with a Gentile that want to call themselves a Christian from the ancient Eastern perspective way of life, because it was their ancestors who created it. They created it as a way to attach themselves to the Israelites. So when they called themselves a Christian from the ancient Eastern perspective way of life, they was keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, following the lifestyle of the Israelite. And at that time, the Hebrew, the Israelites, were not calling themselves Christians. It was the Gentiles. And it was used as an attachment to the Israelites. You can go back and you can check all this history. There was a point in time where Hebrew Israelites called themselves Christians, but it was after they got converted into Christianity, which was first done forcefully by the Gentiles. And then eventually, after a good number of the Israelites was converted into it, you know, generation after generation, then willingly they was going around and converting other Israelites and other Gentiles around the world into Christianity. That's why I say you got to go back and check all this information for yourselves. Don't let people deceive you. I just wanted to talk about that, you know, that term. I wasn't going to go too deep into it or the history or anything like that. I don't have time to even do it as of right now. But since I'm seeing this know, this topic fly around everywhere. I'm seeing that word Hebrew Christian fly around everywhere. You know, I just wanted to say a little something about it. And like I said before, don't let people pull you into a deception. Again, don't let them just say, oh, I'm calling myself a Hebrew Christian just because. No, they're not. They're going to tell you, hey, I don't sell up, I don't do Christianity. Yes, they do. Look with your eyes. Look at them carefully. Look at their life. Look at everything they're doing. Look at Christianity. And I guarantee you, you're going to see small pieces of Christianity here and there that they refuse to let go, that's incorporated into their lifestyle and everything that they're doing. And then you're going to also see some Hebrew things. Okay, and that's how they deceive people. Because you're going to see the Hebrew things, and it's going to override what you're thinking. No, they're Hebrew. No, they're just doing some things that, you know, they feel is okay from the Hebrew perspective that they are going to keep. But then there's other things on the other end of it, from the Christianity perspective, way of doing things, that they will not let go. They want to keep those things. So that's behind the term. Guarantee you, if you go and you check it out, you look at these individuals that do that, that's what you're going to find. I guarantee you that. I wanted to talk a little bit about it, you know, and put y'all up, you know, on your game. Again, don't let people just pull you into things. Go and check it yourselves. Do your own due diligence on the history. In the scriptures too, but not just in the scriptures, but also in the history. Because a lot of times, even they will give you history, but they won't give you all of the history. And that's why I say, even with that being said, you still got to go back and check behind them, even if they're giving you history, to make sure that you're getting the entire package, so that you don't be deceived and pulled down into some massive deception, and then next thing you know, you are off track with the Most High. That's all I'm saying. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to get on down this road. Thank you for tuning in to this short message. And you all have a blessed rest of your day. Shalawam.